Can you hear me okay? Okay, cool. Yeah. You know, I always thought there was something quite romantic about that. About giving yourself over to the music entirely. Letting it dictate who you are and really define your character. And it's kind of how I've lived for the last 10 or so years, really. You know, it's kind of the only thing I've really nurtured in my life up to this point.
I forgive my thoughts now. Steer it, 'cause I forget the thoughts now. Was it all anymore? Faded after all. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Are you sure? Did you call? Did we ever really talk? I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't.
It's a weird feeling to step into making an album with so much other music behind me now. But you know, I was naturally always going to go back to making music after some time away from it, and I think that time away is really important. I feel like you need to be absent to eventually feel present again, because it's not easy to replicate a state of mind. You know, you can't see the world in the same way that you did 10 years ago, and therefore you can't really make music from the same point of view. Maybe it would feel better to end on a diddle, just like suddenly.
You do want to do this?
I don't know. I don't like suddenly.
It's up to you. It depends how many you have on the record. Because there's a couple that do.
I think it's. It sounds better within the song. I just don't like ending songs suddenly like that sometimes.
I think that sounds nice though.
So yeah. Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Do it again. Yeah, it's fine. more just about the noise from going outside, really. And also, these overheads could be a bit higher.
Do you want to hammer them, mate?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Yeah, smashed it.
Bum, 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 bum. Just try and do some shit.
Forgive my bad luck. I feel better most of the time.
So, forget the words. Someone's calling me. Yeah, I've literally just recorded. Decision making in music can be hard a lot of the time. I like the moment before the music has been made, the thought that you can never know how your next piece of music is going to sound or how important it's going to be to you or the person listening. The thought that you can create things that affect people so fiercely out of thin air can really overwhelm. So much of what happens generally is in our heads, you know. We're constantly feeling and reacting to our surroundings, which isn't necessarily shown on the outside. We live in our heads. It's where we create and try to make sense of things around us. It's not always easy to make sense of these thoughts or know how far your reach will extend. Sounds and ideas become scatterings of shapes and patterns that need to be grasped, pulled closer and nurtured. The process can feel like a mess, but I think it's good to allow these things to clutter, to become the mess that you then have to work to refine. I kind of feel surprised when I make something new that I like fully. It feels like such a slow process to me to make music and to write music, that when something kind of materializes quickly in front of you, you get very surprised and you grab onto it. That's maybe the best feeling about this whole thing, is feeling happy with an idea and just really holding on to it and being able to share that with the people around me, like Ed.
I'm working with Ali since the end of 2013. Anchor was the first solo Novo song that I co-wrote. And then from Bathing Beach onwards, and especially from Birthplace onwards, I was pretty heavily involved with co-writing everything. Often we'll both just have, small individual ideas, and it can be a really good way to embellish them, just, even if it's just one verse or one chorus, something, just send the small idea to each other and then just go from that. I think when you're making a record, there's always kind of a part where everything just kind of clicks. think it's the most collaborative one we've done. I guess, yeah, it's just kind of a reflection of how we've been feeling and what we wanted to write and play. It felt like a kind of a natural progression, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, man. It's exciting to be inspired and to want to make music. And, you know, you can stifle yourself and it becomes kind of stagnant after a while. So to get the feeling of wanting to work again, you know, I say work loosely. I make music for a living and it's the best thing in the world. But I think writer's block is almost like a form of depression.
Are we done? Is this the only ones you have?
Yes. No, and the not being able to create to a creative will start to equate to feelings of lacking self-worth.
I'm tired.
I enjoy the whole thing. I enjoy the challenge because I keep on going because I want the end result of the album and this body of work that I'm happy with. Yeah, but as you get more and more audience, of course, you kind of get a bit more freaked out about what people are going to think about it, which you can't help it. You know, people say they make music for themselves, but it's hard to kind of have that mindset when you know people are going to hear it. It's not that I don't know where to go, it's that I guess maybe I'm challenging myself to a point that sometimes feels beyond me.
It's hard to visualize what the process of creating looks and feels like. You know, that transition from nothing into something. I guess it feels like there's open space, but you're very aware of your own presence within it. And so, you know, where are things meant to come from when there are no corners or walls or objects to break your eye line or give you a sense of location or destination? I guess out of nowhere, shapes and colors and sounds would open up in the distance and become the world around you as a piece of music evolves. And as a piece of music evolves, so does this world. It's almost like you start on the ground facing ahead with very narrow vision. Then textures start to build around you. Soft sounds and ambiences are like a wash of blurriness that flow past you. High tonal elements live in the sky like birds or stars moving around, threading together and falling to the ground as your vision gains width that you didn't know it had. She normally bites me. Petrol. It's the Standard Lois Rugby Club. It's where I did one of my first gigs. I remember my brother just learnt how to do the guitar spins and we pulled it out on that show. It was amazing. Probably about 14. There's probably about less than 14 people at the show. Closed. Is this it? Is that it? There used to be a museum here. I don't know if it's still here. It's got a two-headed sheep in it. Obviously dead. I guess it's gone. Who would have thought people didn't want to see the two-headed sheep?
Goddamn, I know this isn't enough. You're thinking, God, I shouldn't be up. 'Cause I was gone, so gone. I barely remember.
We are up in mid Wales at my dad's house to pick up a guitar he's just made me. This is the second guitar he's made for me now, and hopefully a guitar I'm going to use on tour for years to come and use on my next records. It's great to come back up here where I'm from and see him for the first time in a while.
It's all right.
Is that a good one, is it?
Yeah. I'm not a trained guitar maker, I'm a trained engineer. I said, I'm going to make you lads a guitar. And oh yeah. And I made some guitars, and it was like, well, these are like the guitars you get in the shops. I said, well,
Real
yeah.
guitars?
Well, yeah, like real guitars. Well, yeah. I mean, it's easier to make them than it is to talk about them. Really, it's just you just get on and do it.
The first guitar you ever made is the one that I've been using on tour.
The T2.
The T2. I remember I took it on tour in 2016 and I left it in a van in Berlin and it froze over in January and all the lacquer cracked. Right, let's go. Yeah.
It is a lovely looking guitar. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well,
It's super original because no one else is going to have the same guitar as me. It's like literally the only one of its kind. I'm going to keep it forever, and have people wonder where I got it from and have like a story attached to it, and how it's it's from my family. Sounds great.
it sounds good.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lovely sounding guitar.
Yeah, it's really nice. seal the dust where the rust is coming off the tape. Cool though, right? You know, you kind of ask, what am I trying to achieve? What is this album about? Why am I bothering? And those are questions which you don't ask yourself in the start. It definitely felt like a new era of Novo Amor for me because it was so different. This new album is just another chapter in the progression of my life, of these moments. This piano was given to me back in 2014 by a friend, and they got it from their neighbour who she just had it in her house and she painted it white for some reason. I don't think she even played piano, but it was part of the Welsh National Orchestra of Wales, or National Opera, I think. And yeah, they were giving it away, and it's apparently over 100 years old. I was looking for a piano that had to be free for when I was recording my first EP, and yeah, I got this one given to me, and I guess I've recorded most of my songs on this. You know, Utica, Alps, Anatome, Freehand. There's parts of Repeat Until Death. Basically, any piano parts of the last 6 years have been recorded on this, and one other piano, which I got rid of. It's more that it's been out of tune for so long recently that I haven't been able to get it tuned because of the pandemic. And the last kind of stage of the album, I was pitching down my songs, then recording them to the out of tune piano, then pitching the piano back up to the songs. See, not great. For example, I know I want something there, which would be around the idea of like. I think once that whole section is like happening, it's easy enough to build it into the kind of the big epic end that I think it can be.
Let me get my head aligned. Help my life be worth your while. Head aligned.
Yeah, head aligned.
Say again.
So this is yours.
Head aligned.
Head aligned.
Bend my arm, I won't be
304 tracks apparently. I've really overdone it. These are all in folders.
In decimal?
No, in Opaline. This is all the mistakes we make. All the problems are still here. I just haven't deleted them. Don't delete your past. Or do. Half of everything I make just sits there collecting dust. I'd say that at least 50% of everything I make just gets thrown away. I'll work on something for like a week straight and think it's amazing and the best thing I've ever done. Then it dawns on you that it's actually just complete trash, and that's the worst.
It could be a good glitchy thing, just like on and off. The game is you just press things and it just creates sounds. It's more about the days when you do a load of stuff and it just, you listen to it the next day and it's just all bad. The realization that what you've spent your last day doing is absolute rubbish is what's wrong with this as a job.
But that's the process. It's making mistake after mistake and just still carrying on.
There you go, done. That's that done.
That's that one
Next
done.
one.
Because in between those mistakes there'll be progress, and that progress turns into an album. Music is undeniably powerful. It gives you something that isn't tangible in the real world. And I get completely absorbed by that, by how a piece of music feels. It's almost like there's a tear in the distance from which a glow of warm light emanates and grows, filling your vision before breaking apart and dissipating into grains and patterns, falling from the sky into what feels like the soft, wavy ground that you're standing on. It feels like your breathing has slowed, your whole life has been pitched down, and you're sinking backwards into the floor. The walls turn to smoke as your hands run along them. You're floating, and nothing is really anything anymore.
So it's probably nothing, but it's been on my mind sometime and I can't let it go. I know there's gotta be something that I could say in time, but I can't find the words.
So this room I'm in is what the album sounds like. It's where it's been written and recorded, and I've lived in for the past year. And it's where I've been confined to since the lockdown as well. You know, I'm forced to be here. You know, I'm not saying that in a bad way. You know, I want to be here. But so much of the room actually seeps into the sound. The roomy vocal layers and the drum sound, etc., are all artifacts of this room. And I feel like so much of the record is this room and my time here in the last year making it. I think what's more important than the quality of the sounds of the music is the feeling that the music gives you. The actual audio quality might not be that great, but the rawness would sort of play into how it's meant to feel. Like, music needs to ebb and flow, so parts contrast and complement each other. You need to bring up the momentum and dip it back down. You need intensity through crescendos and moments of calm through ambiances and the right timbre. I guess it all, you know, just depends on the vibes that you're trying to create. Ed Tullett has been involved in this more than any of my other music, I'd say. Just because of how close we've been over the last couple of years, touring together, kind of co-writing music together and producing our album together, that I spent so much time on my own making music that it gets a bit repetitive and kind of bleak, to be honest. That it's hard to find motivation sometimes when you're on your own making music, that it's good to have someone else around you. So you're going to and then you go. I mean, this new album started with just a simple drum beat and a piano idea, and then that was kind of sent over to Ed to expand on, and then vice versa. He'd send me something, then I'd expand on that. The whole album has meant to feel more collaborative. It definitely is within the writing, but within the recording and production, it's definitely kind of stayed the way that it always has been with me, where I've kind of worked best on my own over a long period of time, rather than in someone else's studio with a bunch of people. You know, I guess that's me being pedantic about little things and maybe feeling shy or nervous about my ideas, that, you know, I've only got myself to doubt me rather than other people. Considering someone else's creative input as a new edge to my music has, I guess, really opened my mind and broadened my spectrum as a creator. You know, having someone who can be honest with you is important, I think. I've no interest in making music with someone who's just going to tell me that my ideas are great and, you know, be reluctant to say when something is complete rubbish. I guess I've learned that it's okay to let people in and share this experience with the people around me. To me, the album circles around the idea of indecision, like reaching a point 9 years after you started this journey and asking yourself things like, why are you creating? What are you wanting to achieve with your music? And how do you feel now in contrast to the you that was sat in your bedroom at 20 wanting to carve out a path for himself, and recognizing how much life has changed since then? I think the album leans into this clutter and indecision, not only through the music feeling, to me, quite different song to song, but also the artwork. So this just came recently. It's the album artwork, the original piece by Tilke Schwartz. Hand embroidered piece. It's awesome. I was looking for just kind of inspiration for album artwork, and this one, I think, just, I guess, spoke to me the most. The cover is a perfect representation of how the process of making an album might look in your head. It's a box seemingly trying to hold all these elements scattered around the place, words and phrases jumping out as well as getting lost in the noise. I ended up naming like the album and some of the song titles from being inspired from this piece. Like, for example, across there it says Birdcage, then across there it's a statue of a woman, and then the album title cannot be whatsoever. I thought it was just very appropriate for the album I'd made. As I started making the new album, I kind of remembered why I make music, and remember why I like doing it. It's hard to really pinpoint things that make you happy in life. It's hard to kind of really see it, maybe until it comes along. And I guess where I am now feels so different to where I was back then. But now it's refreshing to be at a point where I can look back on the last few years and see happiness and see a catalogue of music I've created with friends that now stands as a timestamp of my young adulthood. It's been everything. It's been an opportunity to grow as a person. I guess my music has just led me down this path, and I've followed without hesitation, reporting back as and when I can.
You call me up in August, so meet me at the chapel Bimes, just to feel American. Just adrenaline. You're probably right, if we're being honest.
This never started for me by following the footsteps of what I think an alternative folk artist should be, you know? Like striving to get in a big studio and make a record or get on a massive stage. It was more about me wanting just to make music on my own, challenging myself and my abilities. It's funny the things that materialize from a 12-year-old kid learning Nirvana songs on his guitar and really just copying his big brother and connecting with the power and emotion in the music, really.
If we're being honest, I should have said my own.
So, I've been trying to learn to let music be more of a part of my life rather than control my life, which is hard for me. I guess making music has just been the best part of my last 10 years. I've let my music dictate so much of how I spend my time and the people I spend it with, and as I circle in on turning 30 in a few years, I wonder how my life will look over the following 10 years. Maybe I'll have a living room. Maybe I'll have a cat. Maybe my ambition will dissipate and Novo Amor will stay a timestamp of my young adulthood. But I don't really see that being likely. I mean, to be honest, I think I'm just getting started.
stealing into the room. So I pretend I'm still in Montreal. I was gone so long I could barely remember my love, my love. And I wish I could say it never gets me down. And I wish I could stay every time I'm away now. I wanted us to bury the rest of my life, 'cause it's probably wasted time.